All right, y'all, you ready?
Yep.
I'm ready if you are. All right. This is New Country, Sirius 31. My name is Kim Ashley, and we have the pleasure of having in our studios right now, Glenn Cummings.
Thanks, Cam. We'll sing our single Big for you. Here we go. 2, 3. I'm not the kind of guy that jumps to conclusions about what the future may hold. I don't care to carry on about nothing unproven, but this time I'm losing control. It's a little like heaven when I kiss your lips. It's a little unlike me, but I'm thinking that this is gonna be big, strong, the kind of love that just keeps going on and on. It really blows my mind, 'cause I don't like to gamble on nothing, but girl, if I did, I bet this is gonna be big. Hey. I'm not the me I used to be in the past. You saw to that right away. 'Cause when it comes to jumping, I was always last. Funny how fast that can change. 'Cause I ran out today and I bought you a rock. It may be little, baby, but what we've got is gonna be big, strong, the kind of love that just keeps going on and on. It really blows my mind, 'cause I don't like to gamble on nothing, but girl, if I did, I bet this is gonna be big. To make a Grand Canyon look small, make a skyscraper look 1 inch tall. It's gonna be big, yeah. Cause it's gonna be big, strong, the kind of love that just keeps going on and on. It really blows my mind, 'cause I don't like to gamble on nothing, but girl, if I did, 'cause it's gonna be big, strong, the kind of love that just keeps going on and on. It really blows my mind, 'cause I don't like to gamble on nothing, but girl, if I did, I bet this is gonna be big. That's right. Yeah, 'cause it's gonna be big. That's right, girl, it's gonna be big.
You're checking out New Country. This is Sirius 31 and Glenn Cummings. I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you too, Kim.
You guys sound great.
Thank you.
Of course, that first single was the title track of Big.
Yes. Our first single that hit radio waves, and
It was a little while ago.
yeah.
And boy, you are big. What are you, 6'5"?
Yeah, I guess I'm 6'5" with some boots on and a hat. I think I'm 6'7" or something.
Well, you know, us women immediately look at your size of your feet for no reason that I know of.
16 double D. That's
You know what that means,
size,
don't
yeah.
you?
Shoe size.
Yeah, big socks is what that means. Yeah. So David and Stephanie are here with us too, playing guitar today, and I want to thank you guys for coming. It was really cool. It's like an unexpected surprise, so we're psyched that you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How long
Kim.
you guys been with him?
Too long.
Oh, ow! I can feel the love in the room. What's it been, like 2-3 years?
But not long for Dave. I've been with Glenn for about 3 years, I'd say.
So how did you guys all meet?
Well, I'll tell you the story about Stephanie. Of course, Stephanie Callahan, she's an incredible artist in her own right. And
We actually, in Florida is where I'm from,
Right.
so I've made the trip back and forth to Nashville for the last 8 years, trying to get a record deal. And of course, living in Florida, you really don't have the benefit of having great musicians as you do in Nashville, and you kind of get spoiled. When you're in Nashville, you have great players, and in Florida, you're always struggling to find one or two that could at least play your songs. And I ended up meeting Stephanie through another friend of mine, and I had gone through a lot of different guitar players and background vocalists. Everybody says, they can sing and back you up, and I've had a lot of nightmares over the last 8 years, but ended up meeting Stephanie, and she showed up at a performance that I was doing, and we went through one warm-up, and she just nailed the vocals right away, and her guitar playing ability is just incredible, and a lot of fun to be with, and she's a really close friend of mine, really
That's
close
awesome.
friend. Developed a
So
great
you're going to stay with
friendship.
him for a little while, I guess?
Yeah, for a while.
You better be good to her.
I try to be good to her. I was picking on her earlier, saying, "You ever been in the studio before?" And she wanted to kill me. She's looking at me with this mean look this whole time. So,
I wouldn't do that anymore.
yeah,
if I were you.
I would made the big mistake of saying that. But we've got Dave Brainard also is here, and Dave Brainard is actually I met David years ago through a songwriting. There was a song that we actually cut on the record called "The Ones Left Behind," and and I was looking for songs over the last 8 years to of course, get demos together and pitch to labels and things like that. And always, whenever I got songs pitched to me, the ones that I liked always had his name on it. And I said, man, me and this guy got some type of chemistry somewhere. And we were on a radio tour about, it's been almost 8 months now we've been out on the road. And we needed a player on the road. And my producer said, hey, Glenn, Dave Brainard would like to come out on the road with you. And I'm like, man, this is great. I'd love to meet him. And he flew into town. I gave him a big hug, and we're like brothers. It's a lot of fun. We have a great time together, and David wrote and co-wrote 3 of the songs on the record.
I'm telling you, that's not an accident. Come on. If you're seeing his name and it keeps coming up in front of you all the time, and then all of a sudden he's available, that's not an accident.
It's amazing. It's just like you said. It's something that I think when you work hard at these things and things start to finally come together, and you get a couple players like David and Stephanie that can back you up. They just make you sound good. So I love having them on the road with
I
me,
bet.
believe me.
Well, people with a strong spirit in a positive way end up gluing together somehow anyway, so I'm glad too. Let's do another song. This is definitely a different feel than the first song that you just did. I would love for you guys to do Lovin' You Is Easy.
Sure.
That'd be great. So, all right, so you're listening to Glenn Cummings along with David and Stephanie, who are hanging out with us today on New Country, Sirius 31.
While they're tuning up, I'll tell a quick story if you'd like. This song really is one that I have a beautiful wife, couple little girls back at home, and I was in Nashville, going back and forth. And of course, I always try to tell everybody the story because it really was and is an awesome story. But back and forth to Nashville over the last 8 years, and we finally were able to cut our record. And I was up in Nashville for about 3 weeks straight. And when you're on the road or away from your family, you miss them. And on the third day of us doing the vocals, we were supposed to do Big, the song you heard first, and I went into the studio, and I just felt the emotions were pretty strong. I was missing my family, and I told my producer, I said, HL, I want to go in and I want to do Lovin' You's Easy today rather than Big. I was just in the mood, and when any of you out there that have never been in a studio, you've got a mic like we're on now, and you've got a nice little vocal booth, and it's nice and dark, and a couple candles were lit, and once the song started, it was hard not to tear up, and I barely could get through the song. And so when we were done with it, I told my producer, I said, HL, go ahead and let me have one more run through. I just got too emotional on that track. And he said, you're fired, get out of the booth, and that's the one that we kept.
Wow.
So we'll see if we can do that for you here today.
Yeah, well, you better cry during this
Oh,
one.
I hope not. Here we go. I have heard you have to fight for anything worth keeping, and I would give it all my might, but loving you is easy, saying we instead of I. It's as natural as breathing, and
And I don't even have to try, 'cause loving you is easy. 'Cause I've been weak, I've made my share of mistakes in my heart. I have struggled with my faith, but you made me believe that when something is so right, you feel it in your soul completely. And baby, that's the reason why that loving you is easy. I have heard you have to fight for anything worth keeping, and I would give it all my might, but loving you is easy, like a soft breeze drifting by. Loving you is easy. Thank you.
Glenn Cummings on New Country, Sirius 31. I got to tell you something. First of all, I'm like, tear now. Thanks. I'm going to get married sometime in the near future. And I'd like to use that as my wedding song.
Oh, I'd love for that.
What do you think about that?
Awesome.
Now, I'm your demographic. I'm the 40-something female. And, boy, if you don't release that as the single after, the one that you have out now, I'll hunt you down. Because it's such a beautiful song. I mean, and
Thank you.
when you really are in love, boy, that's exactly how you should feel. So,
Yeah.
good for you. Holy moly. Okay, so we're talking with Glenn Cummings and his wonderful partners here, David and Stephanie, and somebody string just broke. Oh, no! My eye! Ah. Yeah. We'll keep talking while you fix your string. So the album's called Big, and in the press, I love how they do this in the press. They go, 1 minute he's shucking oysters and selling vacuums, and then he cut his record deal. Like, I'm thinking to myself, all right, there's a huge gap in between those two. What happened? Because, this is the day of American Idol where everybody thinks, it's that easy that you get, you audition and then you get on TV and then you're the next American Idol or whatever.
Sure.
What was the real path? This was a long path.
Yeah, very, very long. I started performing when I was about 4 years old. And
So what were you doing at 4 years old?
I was in a drama thing with my mom. My mom was a drama teacher, and she started teaching my brother and I how to sing. And she raised us singing, and we actually had the Cummings family 3. It was my mom, my brother, and myself, and she was a single parent. And we struggled, of course. Everybody has their stories of hard times, and we definitely had a lot of hard times growing up. Of course, a single parent trying to raise 2 boys was difficult, but the refuge that we always seeked was through our music. And we lived in a hotel called the Putnam Hotel. I try to tell everybody the story. It's kind of a cool story, but in DeLand, Florida. And in the hotel, we actually would have our room and board paid for as long as we performed in the restaurant every night. So, we would get up every night, we would go down there, and of course we would get a free dinner, which was just awesome. My brother and I would get, steak and crab legs or salad or, whatever we wanted, and we would perform every night till about 10 to 10:30, and, we sang Stevie Nicks songs and Willie Nelson songs, and then we would head back up to the room, and we were on the 3rd floor, right above the rock and roll section of the hotel. So every night when we got to sleep, all of a sudden our bodies would start to shake. You know, we started feeling this beat underneath us, you know, and it was the rock and roll section of the hotel. They had big bands down there every night. So, you know, I really can remember it today, right now, as if it was yesterday. I mean, I really remember that. But we looked at it, we never looked at anything negative back then, and we still don't. You know, whenever you're able to share music with people and you can touch people in a positive way, that's what I'm still here doing this for.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, what your childhood background was seemed completely normal to you because it was yours. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know it was any different than anybody else's. Yeah. But how different and wonderful it was. And now, of course, looking back in hindsight, you always look back at the good old days and have great appreciation, which, of course, brings me to the next single. Look, and what a smooth segue it is. Well, you know, what I love about the song Good Old Days is that, I mean, you talk about the things that you remember, you know, the girls you dated and the songs you were singing and that kind of stuff, but that the good old days don't have to be over.
No, they
you
don't.
know?
I mean, it's, you know, like you said, you look back on things that we've done in our lives and, you know, skipping school, you know, hanging out at the beach around a bonfire, you know, having a couple cold beers, you know, just enjoying yourself and having fun. And I used to live in Stewart, Florida. We lived over by the beach, and we would jump in the car with a bunch of friends and cruise down to this little place that was nestled deep in like a woods area right on the beach. And you'd have the big moonlight and the waves crash, and we have a big bonfire, and all of us sit around there with the guitars and play and sing music. And you know, those days are still here. You know, we just, you know, a lot of times when you have a family, you have kids, you work every single day, you kind of forget that there still are more good old days to come. You know, every day is a new day, and you should experience every day and look forward to it. And that's really what the song talks about. And of course, when I heard the song, I fell in love with it. I looked down, and Dave Brainard's name was on it. So,
Oh, gee, there's a shock.
Yeah, what a shock. You know, David Brainard and Tim Matthews and Dustin Evans wrote this song. So
It's a great song, and I'm going to ask you guys to play it in a second here. I want people to get into the right frame of mind here, which is, you know, you got to live life to the fullest every day.
Yes.
You've heard a lot of country songs about that. You know, even George Strait says you never see a hearse with a luggage rack. You can't take it with you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you got to do it and not just make them the good old days, because you have future days that are also the good old days.
Yeah.
And with more on that, Glenn Cummings now on New Country, Sirius 31.
Here we go. Life seemed so easy back then. We had a lot of good laughs with a lot of good friends. We'd load up the Chevy and spend the weekend just kicking back at the lake. That sun would go down, we'd head across the tracks, bonfires, 12 packs. You might say, looking back, that those were the good old days. Hey, the night's still young and there's more where that came from. Hey, here's to the good old days, the good old days to come. We could spend all night just reminiscing by the songs we were singing and the girls we were kissing. And all of that stuff, it's just a beginning. So let's raise our glasses high to the places we ain't been and the things we haven't done. 'Cause you've got to admit, we've had a good run. But hey, the night's still young and there's more where that came from. Here's to the good old days, the good old days to come. Take it away, David. Life seemed so easy back then, but whoever said it's all gotta end? Hey, the
night's still young, and there's more where that came from. Hey! Here's to the good old days, the good old days. Hey, the night's still young, and there's more where that came from. Here's to the good old days, the good old days to come. Yeah, those good old days to come.
Hey.
I'm telling you, that's a hit.
Thank you.
Big time.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
That's pretty good with 5 strings, my friend.
Yeah.
I had a couple little frogs, but
That song, of course, is your latest single. It's called Good Old Days, and it's from your album, Big. We're talking to Glenn Cummings on New Country, Sirius 31. My name is Kim Ashley. Sometimes, I hate to say this because I'm one of the press, but the press sometimes gives you the wrong image to the public of who you are. So if somebody was experiencing Glenn Cummings for the first time, like I'm driving down the road with my girlfriend, and I hear your song on the radio, and she says, "Who's this?" And I say, "That's Glenn Cummings. He's the guy who, what? What would you want her to hear from me?"
He's the guy that just, sings music that he believes in, and I try to, sing music that I make mine. That it's me. Whenever you buy a record or you have a record of an artist, and you play that record, you as an artist, you try to give as much of yourself in that music, and that's what really you have when you have my record. It's all me. It's about love. It's about friendship. It's about fun. It's about losing a loved one. All of us have been through that. It's me, and when you're in the studio and you put so much time and effort into trying to make a good record for everybody out there, it really is a personal thing for artists, especially myself. That's me when you're buying that record. You're buying a piece of me. So
Who else does that? Who else have you heard when you were, being influenced by people that you went, that person is completely opening themselves up and
Garth
making
Brooks.
themselves, there
Garth
you go.
Brooks, yeah.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
He really influenced me tremendously, and I tell a funny story to some people, but my first trip to Nashville, of course, when I first heard Garth, I heard the dance. I just fell in love with country music, and I had always performed growing up as a kid, and I got into, shucking oysters and selling vacuum cleaners and, sales jobs and things to get by, and I kind of got away from performing in music, and the first time I heard the dance, I just said, man, this is so incredible. I really need to start chasing this dream, and so I went to a little studio in Tampa, and $25, a little demo, and I cut the Thunder Rolls, the dance, and If Tomorrow Never Comes, right? And I head up to Nashville, and I'm ready to get my record deal today. I'm all excited. I'm gonna get my record deal today, and I went into a manager's office and handed the CD over to him, and he, put it inside a CD player, and he just sat there with his head going up and down, and I'm thinking, man, I think he likes it, Next song comes on, he listened to the whole song, and by the time the record was done, or the CD was done, he pulled it out, and he said, man, he goes, you know what, Glenn, he goes, you sing better than Garth Brooks. And I was like, oh, this is great. I've already flown into Nashville.
But where's the but?
But Garth's already in town, and
Right.
he slid the CD back over to me.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, and I sat there like in shock for a second, and he said, I said, well, what do I need to do from this point? He goes, well, tell me what dues you've paid to country music.
And you're like, what does that mean?
Pretty much. I thought my dues were singing since I was a kid, the Cummings Family 3, writing country songs. I thought those were my dues I paid. And he said, no, what dues have you paid? To tell me what you've done. How long have you been traveling? How many clubs have you performed in? Have you performed with a full band? All these different things. And that was, 8.5, almost 9 years ago. And here we are today. So, like you said, there's a lot of ups and downs and valleys trying to get in this business, and we're finally here, and it's just awesome to be in New York on Sirius Satellite Radio with you. I mean, geez, if it all ended today, I'd be happy just doing this. This is wonderful.
If
Thank
tomorrow
you.
never comes.
Yeah.
Well, you were just talking about how influential Garth has been in your life.
Absolutely.
You want to do a Garth song for me?
Oh my gosh, do we know a Garth song?
I love it when I put you on the spot like
Oh my
this.
gosh, with five-string Dave over there.
Five-string Dave.
Yeah.
Well, you said the dance was your favorite. Why don't you do the dance?
Okay, do you know the dance, David?
He's like, I've got 30 seconds to
Okay.
say yes.
We'll take a shot at it, so
right,
hopefully don't
do.
mess up too bad.
All right, you're listening to Glenn Cummings on New Country, Sirius 31.
Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared underneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Holding you, I held everything. For a moment, wasn't I the king? If I'd only known how the king would fall. Hey, who's to say? You know I might have changed it all. And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. It's my life, it's better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance.
Good voice today.
Thank you. Thanks, Kim.
That wasn't Garth Brooks, by the way. That was Glenn Cummings on New Country, Sirius 31. That was awesome.
Thank you,
And
Kim.
completely by surprise. Sorry, you know me. I like to do that drive-by shooting thing.
I hope I got the words right. It's been, 10 years since I think I've sang that
think
song.
you did good, kid.
Yeah, but what a beautiful song.
What a beautiful version of that song.
Thank you.
All right, so the new album is called Big. It's your debut album.
Uh-huh.
And the single that we played before is Good Old Days. I encourage people to listen very carefully to it. I want you to do one more song. Would you do one more for me?
Sure, I'd
All
love
right,
to.
cool. One of my favorite songs on the CD is one that I guess you guys wrote really, really fast one night.
Yeah, I was actually, which one?
Is She's
Oh,
Gone.
She's Gone. Okay, well, I wrote a bunch of songs I wanted to have on the record, and I ended up kicking a lot of mine aside, and this one actually made the record. It's called She's Gone. It's the only one that I wrote on the record with a good friend of mine, Donnie Vondra. And we were at CRS, which is Country Radio Seminar, and he had flown into town, and we're sitting at the Bridge Bar grabbing a cocktail with all of our radio friends, and out of nowhere I said, we were thinking about writing a song the next day, and I was sitting there and I said, let's write a song that's just about, relationship, gone bad. We're never on the same planet with our wives or our companions anyway. And,
Really?
And what a surprise, right?
You know what? Here's my example of the difference between men and women. The difference between men and women is a man will go to a strip club, and then he'll come home and he'll see his wife and be like, yeah. A woman will come home from Chippendales and look at her husband and go, No.
Oh,
No, no,
that's
no.
so funny.
No. So, you know what? Women and men think totally differently in the same situation. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that-
right. Okay.
That's true. So, but talking about that, it's so funny. We came up with the line. We're sitting there at the bar, and she left burning rubber across my lawn in a red satin dress that would turn any man on. So, of course, the most precious thing to guys is their lawn, that we work in manicure.
Doesn't
all the
matter that
time.
she's hot. She
Yeah.
just ruined my lawn.
Yeah, but we can't figure out why she's gone, and that's what the song's about. We can't figure out what did we do wrong this time that created this to happen, and so it's called "She's Gone." So we'll do this one for you. Here we go.
All right. Glenn Cummings on New Country, Sirius 31.
I'm waking up at the crack of dawn. I'm still here and she's still gone. She left burning rubber across my lawn in a red satin dress that'd turn any man on. 'Cause she's gone to see what's in the world. She's gone to be somebody else's girl. I know it's plain to see that she's through with me. 'Cause she's gone, she's left the past behind. She's gone and I can't get her off my mind. I wonder, why did she wait so long? Yeah, 'cause she's gone. Right now my heart is just about breaking. I did her wrong, she's had all she's taken. Always taking, giving nothing back. Why did I do her like that? 'Cause she's gone to see what's in the world. She's gone to be somebody else's girl. I know it's plain to see that she's through with me. 'Cause she's gone, she's left the past behind. She's gone and I can't get her off my mind. I wonder, why did she wait so long? Yeah, 'cause she's gone. For 40 days and 40 nights I blame myself for being blind. I should have listened to what I saw, 'cause the writing was there on the wall. 'Cause she's gone to see what's in the world. She's gone to be somebody else's girl. I know it's plain to see that she's through with me. 'Cause she's gone, she's left the past behind. She's gone and I can't get her off my mind. I wonder, why did she wait so long? Yeah, 'cause she's gone. Oh, she's gone. Oh, she's gone.
Glenn Cummings on New Country, Sirius 31. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. I want to tell everybody our website real quick. If
Oh,
we
yeah,
can.
do. Absolutely.
We've got a really awesome website, so everybody out there grab a pen. It's gccountry.com, gccountry.com. And we got a free fan club membership, lots of pictures. Everybody can interact with us, and whenever we're on the road, we always send out email blast to all of our fans, and it's free.
That's great.
So, please feel free to go to our website, gccountry.com.
Well,
Thank
you know what?
Kim.
This isn't the last we've heard of you, that's for sure. I can tell you that. You're going to be at the CMA Music Festival, yes?
Yes, we're going to be at the CMA Music Festival. Under the events on our website has everywhere we're going to be.
Great.
I believe we have a booth. I think it's 326. I can't confirm that, but I think it's booth 326.
You'll be signing stuff?
Oh, we'll be there. We'll be everybody's
Kissing
friend.
babies, shaking hands.
Absolutely.
Doing your thing?
Absolutely.
Well, you continue to do your thing, and I want to thank you again for hanging out with us here at New Country Sirius 31.
Thanks, Kim.
It was great.
All
It
right.
was just great. You guys sounded unbelievable.
Well, it sounded great in the phones.
Sure did.
Well, you know what? We have a show. Oh, you're so great. Thank you so much.